Welcome back to the final episode of Dance Mums Uncovered Season 2. Season 3 won't be too far away, so make sure to subscribe so that you'll know when the next episode is released. Now, I've been a little bit too scared to make this video in the past because I know it's a highly sensitive subject. Since World Mental Health Day is coming up soon, on the 10th of October, I thought this video could provide some helpful insights and show how mercilessly people are criticised about their weight in the dance world. There are resources in the description box that can help you if you're struggling with your mental health or disordered eating. If this video causes even one person to have some sort of relapse, it would definitely not be worth making. So if you have a negative relationship with food, I urge you to stop the video here. Know that there's nothing to be ashamed of. I have provided extra trigger warnings throughout the video for particularly sensitive topics in case anyone needs them. So without further ado, there was more criticism on the dancers' appearances than the producers cared to show. Feel free to share your thoughts on the following evidence. First, let's look at the mum's negative influence. One of the most common triggers of a person's poor body image is when people in their family have poor body images themselves. This is also the case when family members idolise a particular body shape or take extreme measures to lose weight. While the mums have had some very unhealthy views that they have shared online. First of all, there are some extremely harmful tweets that were posted by the mums. Many of them have tweeted that they think they looked fat on TV. And some of them have even made jokes that they need to stop eating. In addition, several of the cast members have promoted detox teas on their social media accounts. Holly and Jill have promoted flat tummy tea, and Abby has promoted Boom Bod. This is problematic because flat tummy teas have been found to contain laxatives, which is not an effective way to lose weight in the long term, and actually can cause serious health risks, such as dehydration and permanent damage to the digestive system. The company also sells products such as appetite-suppressing lollipops, which is a particularly tempting and dangerous product for people who unhealthily restrict their eating. Boom Bod products, on the other hand, are dangerous because if a person consumes their shake powder without enough water, it can get stuck in their esophagus or stomach. And despite the marketing, one of its key ingredients does indeed function as a laxative. There are lots of articles online which discuss the side effects and harms that these kind of products can do to your health. The mums are also no strangers to cosmetic surgery and other procedures. Despite calling it her badge of honour on the show, Christy has had her nose filled to make it straighter. It just seems weird that she did this because she had previously insisted that she learned to embrace this thing which used to cause her so much insecurity. She has declared that she regrets fat-shaming people on the show. So at least she recognises that her words have affected people's ability to view their bodies positively. Both Christy and Jill have experimented with other weight loss procedures, and Melissa recently revealed that she gets Botox. And finally, the mum's promotion of diet culture has gone to unhealthy lengths. Christy in particular has admitted to doing some very extreme dieting, including when she did a tomato week, where she and her husband had to eat tomatoes 3 times a day. She also made it her weight loss goal at one point to fit into a pair of Chloe's jeans. She has tweeted proudly that she has impressive math skills when it comes to dieting, and has said that she would hate herself if she was eating lots of carbs during quarantine.
Last week, during quarantine, we were doing tomato week. I was making him eat tomatoes 3 times a day. It was insanely sad. I would loathe myself right now if I was just eating English muffins, Life cereal, all of the things that I love so much.
And then I made this resolution to myself that I was going to fit in a pair of Chloe's jeans when I turned 40.
Ashley has also promoted similar habits, such as when she publicly praised Bryn's sister Sadie for losing a lot of weight, even though she did it by doing intermittent fasting, which is absolutely not recommended for children or teens who are still growing. At 13 years old, Sadie says that for 3 months she was skipping breakfast and lunch, only eating an afternoon snack and dinner. And apparently this was all Ashley's idea.
She did the intermittent fasting because I'd been kind of researching it, and I told her about it. Did it take 3 months?
I didn't eat breakfast or lunch. I would just eat dinner.
Snack after school, pretty big snack, and then a pretty big dinner. And then
Yeah.
Next, let's explore Abby's negative influence. It's really no surprise that Abby has said negative things about her dancers' appearances off the show. After all, she said so many things about them while the cameras were rolling. The following information will focus on specific body-shaming teaching tactics that Abby has used. Consider skipping to this timestamp if this is something you may find confronting. I've mentioned before that Abby has been accused of making the girls leap with 10-pound sacks of potatoes, telling the girls that this is what it would feel like to gain 10 pounds. But since then, I've found footage of Abby herself admitting to doing this to her students. In this clip, she also says that she used to put her dancers on the scale and write their weights on the wall. Kelly has also spoken about this, saying that some of the girls were only around 7 or 8 years old at the time.
So I was crazy. I mean, you used to have to walk in, get on the scale, I'd write it on the wall. I used to make the kids do grand jetés, which are leaps across the floor, carrying 10-pound bags of potatoes.
A 10-pound bag of potatoes. And she would say, if you would do a grand jeté, she would say that if you gain 10 pounds, this is what it feels like. And they were like 7 and 8 years old.
What is way weirder than these revelations is that Abby had names for her dancers' stomachs. According to the Highlands, Mackenzie's was called Bob. Abby would tell all her students on a regular basis to suck in their stomachs. Kelly says she understands that two wrongs don't make a right in terms of fat-shaming Abby, but she doesn't know what else to do when Abby takes things too far.
She has names for their stomachs. Like, they'd be any skinnier. And she'll be like, suck in your stomach, and she calls it a name. I don't even know.
No, Kenzie and Mackenzie have names.
Yeah, Brooke and Mackenzie.
Kenzie says Bob.
And when you see us calling her names, I do it. I am guilty. But it's because she's called my kids up. After doing it for day after day after day, year after year, not that two wrongs make a right. I don't know what else to do.
This behaviour continued for years, as even some of the Season 8 cast members have talked about how Abby commented negatively on their appearances. According to Presley, Abby told her that nobody wants to see her thighs, and Stacey and Lily added that Abby used to call Lily's feet fat.
I was in rehearsal. Abby said, "Oh, nobody wants to see those thighs." So I kind of was really upset about that.
She called your foot a fat little feet. She just said you have fat little feet.
Abby still insists to this day that she likes the students who are pretty girls, and that she's an expert on dressing children to hide their flaws. Evidence number 3, fans' negative influence. There are plenty of instances where fans have caused a lot of further harm to the dancers through the comments they leave on social media. In particular, I want to look at 2 different cases. The first occurred back during the height of the show's popularity, around Season 4. Ava Kota experienced relentless online bullying, with fans calling her underfed, weird-looking, too skinny, too tall, and asking if her mother restricted her food intake. Ava has since described her experience with body shaming around the age of 10 or 11 as very difficult. She emphasised that learning to love herself as an all-around person was an important way for her to cope.
When I started on Dance Moms, I had a lot of exposure very quickly, and that led to a lot of body shaming. I think I was 10, 11, and I had people telling me that I was anorexic and that I didn't eat, or my mom wasn't feeding me, and that I was too skinny and too tall, and I looked crazy when I was dancing, and that was really, really difficult for me. It really bothered me, but I think it was just understanding that they don't know me, and it was more important for me to know that I was a good person and that I was humble and that I was kind because of how important that is to me.
These kinds of comments are still very common today. A more recent example of fans harassing a cast member over their body is when Kalani posted an Instagram reel last week. On this post, many people felt the need to speculate that Kalani had gained weight. Some of them even asked if she was pregnant. It really saddens me that as these girls have gotten older, the majority of their Instagram comments have focused on discussing how their bodies look. I personally believe that we have a responsibility as fans to show that we value these people for more than just their appearances. 4. The dancer's self-image. It's extremely disheartening to see how all of these comments have affected the dancer's self-esteem. In particular, Maddie, Mackenzie, Jojo and Kendall have been very critical of their appearances. Rather than explaining them all, I'm just going to let these clips that I've found speak for themselves. Some of these clips may trigger some negative thought patterns, so skip to this timestamp or proceed with caution.
I mean, yeah, I'm not comfortable with my body right now, but that doesn't mean you have to be body shaming people for what they look like.
Poor Mackenzie, last week, she's like, I just want to get off of social media. I'm so sick of people telling me I have a big nose or I'm fat.
Yeah, I'm fat, I know.
It has brownies in it. It's really good. I'm fat.
Okay. I don't like how I look a lot of the times.
Why?
Maybe because I eat Lucky Charms, just the marshmallows 24/7.
Guys, we're so fat.
And lastly, we have bringing awareness. 2 cast members have opened up about their struggles with chronic eating issues online. This is probably the most sensitive part of the video, so please skip to the displayed timestamp if you have personal struggles with disordered eating. Chloe has an Instagram account called Chloe Lacasiak Writes, where she posts some of the poetry that she has written. Some of her works recount her experience with eating disorders. In a Q&A she conducted on this account, Chloe confirmed that she's had 3 types of eating disorders.
I do. The first poem I ever shared with the world was about one of my eating disorders, and now, but yes, I struggle with all 3 types, so you are not alone.
Furthermore, Sophia Lucia has discussed her journey of quitting her ballet school because her ballet school was a toxic place that pushed her towards harmful eating behaviours. She has publicly confirmed that she struggled with an eating disorder. Unfortunately, Sophia has still had to defend herself online from people criticising her weight. I wanted to mention these 2 because I believe it's important to know that anyone can struggle with disordered eating. It definitely doesn't change the fact that they are incredibly talented, intelligent, kind and humble people. I'm not trying to push any kind of social justice movement here, and understand that I'm all for living healthy lifestyles with healthy diets. But a lot of these criticisms are actually really toxic because they suggest that a person's worth is defined by their appearance. A lot of these terrible influences in the Dance Moms environment also run rampant across the entertainment industry. These women have been brutally scrutinised about their appearances for almost their entire lives, and I believe that we should think twice before adding to it. So what do you guys think? Did any of these problematic influences that harmed the cast surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this season, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.